Welcome to the Rise to Thrive podcast with Matt
and Brooke,
where we embrace what it means to be human and explore how to become the most expansive versions of ourselves through vitality, connection, and play.
Expect honest conversations, transformative stories, and playful shenanigans as we unpack what it means to claim a life of your own creation.
Ready? Let's rise. Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of the Rise to Thrive podcast. We're your hosts, Matt.
And I'm Brooke.
And we've got a magical guest for you today. Her name is legendary Lizzy Blake. She's a Coherence BodyTalk Practitioner who offers one-on-one guidance in helping people regulate their nervous systems through meditation and through presence. She's a fellow nomad out in the world traveling in the gratitude bus, and she's the host of the Quantum Spirituality podcast on YouTube. Legendary Lizzy, welcome to the podcast. And today you're calling in from, where's your studio today?
Yeah. But today my studio is Whole Foods Home and Garden.
Not sponsored by, but
not sponsored by.
Thanks, Whole Foods. Shouts out for the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. This is life on the road, you know. We're in a library. We're living nomadically. We met legendary Lizzy at an epic gathering out in the desert called SkooliePalooza. And it was just meant to be because we see this woman coming up frolicking in all of her colors and her wide-brimmed hat without the top of her visor type situation.
Yeah, that was a
sun
special hat.
And your stickers and your buttons and just all the things. And you were just like, would anyone like some chia seed pudding? And we were just like, yep.
Well, actually, I had a question right away. I was like, what's in it? Because, you know, we don't just eat anything. And you said chia seeds, coconut milk, and maple. And I think maybe you said a bit of salt. And I was like, this girl knows what's up. I'm down.
Sharing one spoon amongst all these strangers.
Just
we're
like
here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a good one.
Hey, everyone. Just wanted to jump on here quick and give you guys some love and shout you out. We've been doing this podcast for now 2 months and 8 episodes. It's wild to think. And we've been having a lot of fun doing it.
So if you are having fun on this journey with us, make sure to like the episodes and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then give us a follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as a 5-star rating.
And if there is a notification bell, make sure to hit that so you don't miss an episode.
All right, back to the show.
See you in there.
Yeah, I love SkooliePalooza, how everyone's just like offering and generous and giving, and it's all about the trades or just the generosity of, you know, we're all living like open-hearted, we're all on the road, we get together with our like nomadic family and we all feel like so at home.
Totally. And you made us feel that way, and it's cool to be able to, you know, we had our little vendor booth there, and it's like we always attract the people that we're meant to attract. And we had the homie Mark next to us. We'll have to have him on the podcast one day too. And you just came up and you had a podcast, and then you also worked on me, and we just really vibed with your way of being and the yums and the frequency and the silliness and all the full spectrum rainbow human that you are.
Oh, I remember I had my legendary Lizzy name tag on, and it had the QR code on it, and you were like, genius, and like you scanned it right away.
I know, that's the world we live in right now.
That made you guys really unique, because not everyone does that.
But well, go ahead.
Well, it's an invitation, right? Like, here, human design, I'm a projector, invitation for others to like, hey, like, do you want to be friends? Like, you know, do you resonate with my vibe? And here's a quick opportunity to stay in touch. So
yeah,
you guys saw that right away, and you were like, okay, I'll scan your QR code.
I mean, how could we not? You're like you are the walking billboard of who you are and your full expression and your colors and your way of being is an invitation to want to know more about you, which is why we're here today having you on our podcast to get to know you even deeper.
And
Thank
just
you.
purely from a marketing perspective, that's brilliant. And like we've got similar tools and stuff that we've picked up along the way. Like our business card is actually one side of it's a gift card to our superfood store. So like we're like always
Beautiful.
looking for little tweaks and hacks. So seeing that from a from a branding and marketing perspective, I'm like it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I
Genius.
feel a lot of the entrepreneurs that we've met on the road who do nomad life, like just find so many creative ways to express themselves and are such a unique like total embodiment of what they do. And I think that's what Brooke's touching on is like
Mm.
your brand is it's not like here's my business lane and here's my personal lane. It's
Mhm.
completely integrated and we
I
feel
love
that,
that.
which is really cool.
Yeah. And then your bus is just like a full extension of that. Which I'd love to know, like, how you even got, every nomad has such a personal story of how they came to this lifestyle. It's not a lifestyle that most humans are choosing. So I'm just curious how that even really began for you, how you got into the gratitude bus.
Well, I would say before the seed was even planted that, it's a possibility to live in a converted school bus, you know, going back further, in 2010, I lost my partner, Michael, and it was a camping accident.
Mm,
We were planning a future and like marriage and kids, and we were 24 years old at the time, and he died.
mm,
So that is like kind of like where my spiritual awakening happened. And I bring that up because that was when I really started to step back and observe things differently and question everything.
yeah.
I started to really see that a lot of what I know. I'm like just letting this guy with the carts go by. Okay, so a lot of what I know is programming from my childhood and from my past, right? And when Michael died, I I knew heaven or hell. That's where he was either going to go. But I felt him right here right now with me. I
Mhm,
could feel his unseen presence as if he was in the next room. And I was like, he's not in heaven or hell. Like he's very like still in this dimension. I still feel him so
mm,
strongly. And he came to visit me in my dreams for 3 months, like every night. And it felt like we were hanging out the night before. So the reason I bring all that up is because it just my ability to start to question things. And I bring up again at that point, I didn't know how to handle grief
mm,
and I became suicidal. I wanted to, jump off something high because that's what happened to him. He fell off a cliff.
Mm.
And I remember saying things like take me with you. Like why did you leave me behind?
mm,
Yeah, and so I was in this like place and I threw out everything I knew about life and death and I started researching near death experiences. And in that, I started to realize that death is just a transition and I can still have a relationship with him, even though his physical body's not here.
yeah.
And that just shifted everything. And that just really made me see life differently. I never had a 9 to 5. I was always like an entrepreneur doing like multi-level marketing things. I never had like a normal job. And so not living in a normal house was like kind of, in that same pathway. And so when the seed was planted and I saw that, oh, living in a school bus is a thing? Like, I'm sorry, what? You live where? you know? And that was years later, but and during COVID too, right? It was just a thing. At the time, I was teaching private clients, and I'd go to their home in Los Angeles, and then COVID happened, and then they were willing to do remote, and I could live anywhere, and I was like, where do I want to live? And I chose the mountains in Big Bear Lake. Shouts out. And then that's when I saw someone living in a schoolie, and I was like, I remember taking a picture in front of their school bus and saying, I'm going to have a schoolie one day. And I felt like Miss Frizzle in that show, The Magic School Bus,
Uh-huh.
because one of the things that I do with my clients is I take them like into their body and like looking on things at a cellular level and how the heart and the circulation of the blood and their lymphatic system and the electricity from their nervous system, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm Miss Frizzle and I'm going to have the magic school bus. So now I'm legendary Lizzie in the gratitude bus.
Mm.
Wow.
So
Making
yeah.
dreams come true, baby.
I'm seeing the resemblance a little bit. Like now that you mention it, I'm like,
We'll have to pull up a photo next to you just for the comparison.
Well, Miss Frizzle, that when I grew up, like I loved that show, The Magic School Bus, and all the places she would take, and she was just like so silly and like very vibrant and colorful and all the beautiful things. So
So
she's
what
she's one, yeah.
She's one of your like mentors.
Shows.
You're like,
yeah, like as a child, she was someone that inspired me.
yeah.
Well, look at you now.
Yeah.
I love it. What transpires when people come into your bus? Like, do you work on them there, or like what is? I mean, I'm sure people come in as someone else, and they might leave as somebody totally transformed in some way.
Yeah. So I like to do, if I'm out in the world, in the wild, as I call it, I'll set up my massage table outside of the bus because that creates like a container, a portal that they can lay on and I can work on, and it's separate from my home. I invite people to come in and see the bus. I love giving bus tours and just sharing that space and showing them, giving them that vision of what's possible and how we can live. But when I work on my clients, I actually mostly do it remote. So only when I am like in a physical place or a city, or at schoolie, when there's people around, I'll pull out my table and let them know this is something that I offer. Body talk coherence sessions. But I can do it remote because it's consciousness. So here's the beautiful thing about my work is, like, I call it quantum healing, because when you look at and observe particles and waves, they start to behave differently when you observe them. So similar to when like you're at your job and your boss is watching you, you're going to behave differently.
Right.
So when I'm in session, I use my structured intuition and I'm like tuning into their blueprint remotely, and I'm observing them. I'm basically becoming a translator for their innate wisdom. And I'm like, okay, what wants to be observed? And there's infinite potential of possibility of like where we could go. It could be mental, emotional, physical. It could be cellular. It could be how your external environment is playing a role on your internal one, or an active memory. So lots of fun places to go for healing.
Yeah, the whole quantum space. I'm like, what would somebody, like when you say body talks, like someone that's like just, a normie or whatever, that's not like in these kind of spiritual consciousness expanding places, like what would that be like to explain what is that? Like what is the body
Yeah.
talks? Like give us more of a background of what that means.
Sure. So the body talk system is a whole system, similar like Ayurveda is a system, yoga is a system, nutrition is a system, and so the body talk system is an opportunity we create. It's by Dr. John Beltime. He is the creator of it, and he created this map of potentials of like where you can go for healing. And it could be traditional Chinese medicine, it could be Western medicine, and everything in between. So for a normie, usually when I like have a conversation with them, I will say, I help your cells communicate to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Cellular coherence.
Yeah.
Right? Heart brain coherence,
Mm-hmm.
where how you're feeling and what you're thinking are talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So just reestablishing communication back into the body, the mind, the spirit, energetically, and so that you have the clarity, kind of like opening up the channels, reminding you that you are a channel. So some layman's terms, if that's layman's terms.
It's pretty layman.
Lame
Right?
man.
Channel,
It's not
channels
lame at all.
It's not lame at all.
Yeah.
open communication though, right?
Yeah.
So
And were you like catalyzed into that work because of your beloved passing and having kind of more of that connection to spirit and guiding you that way? Or like, yeah.
yeah. So I, like I mentioned earlier, I had suicidal ideation, and I did a lot of research about near-death experiences, and in meditation, and I started to practice daily meditation with my teacher using like Vedic meditation and bija sounds. So they are mantras. But I would sit in meditation and I would like basically access like the door to death, and then like kind of peek inside,
Mm.
and then I would see like my highest self, like the version of me that is God. And she'd be like, it's not your time, but I'll leave the door open so you have access to this dimension. And basically it's kind of like that invitation for our subtle senses, our psychic senses, to listen between the sounds and see between the visions, right? And taste between the flavors.
Mm. I like that.
Tasting between the flavors.
Damn. That is some next level awareness right there. It's like, what are you tasting between the flavors?
Between the arugula and the salad dressing, what are you tasting between?
God. I'm tasting
That's
God. That's it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, if you guys didn't know, the 3 pillars of Rise to Thrive are vitality, connection, and play. If you want to squeeze more juice out of life, then join our free community on Skool.
This is about reclaiming your vitality, feeling more connected, and honestly bringing more energy and play back into your life. And it's also where we'll be the most active. Real-time conversations, updates, all of it.
So if you're ready to go deeper and stay connected with us in real time, hit the link in the show notes and join the tribe inside.
And what was the saying? I remember you just mentioned the metaphor. I remember you saying to us about opening the door and the lights came on. What was that analogy that you told us?
That was one of the books I read. It's called Dying to Be Me by Anita Moorjani. And the way that she had lymphoma and cancer and lesions, and then she died, and her near-death experience was, the way that she describes it as a metaphor is, the way we're living life right now is with a flashlight in a big warehouse. And we're only able to see what the flashlight is showing us. We can't see anything else. But in death, all the lights in the warehouse turn on. And then you can see all the movement and colors and brightness and pure love and connection, that you are everything. And you are God expressing self through you. And then she said when she came back, the lights turned off, but she already, once you've seen it, once you know it, you don't need to question anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't unknow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the knowingness.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm curious, this is something that I've been challenged by, is having experiences like that, whether it's through certain ceremonies or just magical moments that have happened in everyday life through personal development, where you taste or like you experience what it's like to have the warehouse lights be on, and then you go back and you remember, but as time passes, there's like, it feels to me like there's like a fading, and it
Mm.
feels like, yes, I know, but it feels less close. It feels less integrated. It feels less accessible in like a real potent feeling kind of way. And that's like something I'm kind of find myself chasing at times, where I'm like, oh, I just want to feel that potency of rich experience that I've tasted before, but it exists as just like a mental memory because
Mm.
it's been some time since I've like been refreshed into one of those experiences. Like, have you found that through like meditation or through any other modalities or practices that you've been able to access or keep that fresh for yourself?
Yeah, I would say meditation, my meditation practice, I do it daily, and it's like the first thing I do when I wake up. And it's just like 20 minutes sitting with myself. And so, one of the things I teach my clients is the art of observing meditation.
Mm.
And this is where, when I sit for 20 minutes, I'm just kind of observing. I'm not judging anything. I'm noticing my thoughts. I'm noticing any emotions I'm feeling, any sensations in my body. I'm also noticing like my external environment where I am, the sounds, the temperatures. And I'm just sitting with my back relaxed and my eyes closed, sitting in stillness, connecting to my breath. And I use my bija mantra. So, what this is an example of, because I practice this every day, and it's been a decade now, since 2015. And one of the things is, because I've been practicing that for so long, now I can do it with eyes open.
Mhm.
And now I'm observing and also not judging, like, oh, my thoughts or how I'm feeling about something. But one of my favorite phrases is, isn't that interesting? Right? And when things are interesting, I stay curious.
Mhm.
And I've definitely come to a place where I'm like, okay, let's see how it unfolds. I'm willing to surrender. And even though maybe the way I want things to go doesn't happen,
Mhm.
right? Like, maybe I don't get my way, but I'll if that doesn't happen, I'm still going to be okay, and maybe I'll be a little upset or whatever, but then, I know how to handle my emotions. And if I'm feeling angry, maybe I'll do a primal scream, or into a pillow or go for a run.
Yeah.
Right? Coping mechanisms for emotions.
Mhm.
And yeah, but meditation for sure, but also practicing presence.
Mhm.
And for me, it's not just presence, it's like playful presence.
Mm.
Because I'm little Lizzie. I'm in my she's the one who expresses herself, especially like when I'm socializing with people, and she's the one who likes to play games. And then I'm in my adult body making confident decisions. Right? Speaking
Right.
of games, let's do the name game, right? We need some
Oh,
names
yeah.
for you guys.
We were just talking about that today.
I think we did
Okay.
it.
We
Okay.
did do it so we could redo it and
Okay. So
freshen it
let me
up.
describe it for other people who are listening, right? But the game is, it's a game to help me better remember your name and for you to better remember my name. So what's a word to describe you that you want to embody?
Mm.
That starts with the same letter of your first name. And then if there's a big group of people, I'll be like, whoever's birthday goes first. Whoever's birthday is next goes first.
Mm.
Well,
So what
Matt
are
just
you?
had a birthday. My birthday is June 20th.
Okay, I'm February 12th. So
So,
that's you, Brooke.
I'm March 27th. So
I mean, his birthday is closer, but it's behind us, or it's in front of us. Farther. Okay, I guess I'm next. Or first.
next is first.
Next is first right now. All right. I am blessed and bountiful, Brooke.
Yes, you are.
Thank
Right?
you.
So then me and Matt can affirm it. So who are you again?
Blessed and bountiful, Brooke.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Sorry, I had to throw in two right there. I was
You
like,
are
you know what?
blessed and bountiful, Brooke.
Thank you. I am.
Beautiful.
I am.
The I am presence.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm next. So I am legendary Lizzie.
Yes,
And
you
then-
are.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
and then
are.
yes, I am, right? Like it feels so good for other people to affirm that too, even though I know it like so deep within my own heart. So,
Mm.
Matt, what about you?
I feel like there's a short list of M words.
You don't have a dictionary or
Okay, I will go with this one. I'm not sure if I used it last time, but I am majestic Matthew.
Yes, you
you
are.
Yeah.
Majestic Matthew in the
Woo!
house.
I'm the hizzy. Let's go.
He-
That's what's up.
He is very majestic. In many ways. Very majestic.
True.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people would feel silly doing that or believing that about themselves, but you have become legendary Lizzie because you reaffirmed it over
Yeah.
and over and over and over and over again, and now we see you as freaking legendary Lizzie. You know,
Yeah.
you are such a legend, but you created it that way
That's-
because you named it.
And that's the power of language. That's what I love. You know, when I discovered that we're creators, we're created in the image of God. We are here to create. We create with our words. If we choose to look at it that way, most people are walking through life describing their surroundings, you know, that it is fixed that way. And I'm just using language to describe it. But when you realize how language creates and you own the creator you are, you start to realize how much power you have. Right? You have all this power to create yourself and to create others, right? Like that's where the affirmation comes in, right? Is like we create ourselves
Beautiful.
and we can create the ones around us and be that reflection.
Yeah, love that.
And
Snaps.
yeah, and what did it take for you to rewind back to when, you know, you went through such a big loss with losing your partner, like how much it took for you to create your moving forward in a way that was positive. I mean, not necessarily positive, but supportive, beneficial. Like, how were you able to pull yourself forward? Of course, feeling the grief and feeling the intensity of that emotion. But I know a lot of people can be really taken down by something so intense and heavy in their lives.
So, yeah, the portal is giving yourself permission to sit in that discomfort and not judge it as a bad thing and just be like, isn't this interesting? So I named my grief. Her name's Greta. She feels like a little old German lady with a cane. And which is like my ancestrage, because like I have German background from my dad's side. But whenever she shows up, you know, like I'm in tears. I'm like, okay, Greta, like come on in and, you know, let's have some tea and crumpets, you know, and we just cry together, and I allow myself to sit in the discomfort. And one of my favorite ways I describe my healing toolbox, I have this like toolbox of medicine. And so if grief shows up, I'm like, all right, well, which tool do I want to use? Let me try journaling, right? And then if I'm journaling and then I'm still feeling like that emotion, then I'll like pull out, you know, primal screaming. Let me try that. Or let me do some walking in nature, you know, crying. Like there's lots of tools. They can be really simple. Sometimes we like overthink or overanalyze of like, how am I supposed to process grief, you know? And it could be like taking a hot shower or petting my dog, so being able to allow myself to sit in the discomfort when it shows up, even that might be fear or anxiety or worry about something, if I'm nervous about getting on a podcast. So just like allowing myself to be like, okay, I'm feeling this way. Like, let's sit with it for a while and see how it shifts, right? Because I'm watching it. I'm not trying to distract. I'm not trying to like push it down.
Yeah.
But I'm like literally it's like here in my hand and I'm like, isn't this interesting? Let me sit with this a while. you
Yeah.
know?
Did someone just walk by and be like, what is she looking at?
Yeah.
Or were they like, is she asking me for money in that moment?
Did you see his face pop in?
No. But I just
He
saw you look
literally,
up while you
looked
were like,
around.
Yeah. He's just like,
yeah.
what is going on here?
Yeah, totally.
he was like, what's interesting?
He was very interested by what was happening with you.
Definitely.
Yeah, totally.
Curiosity. Yeah.
Right?
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
getting curious around the feeling, right? Versus the numbing, which is what so many people do in this society, is where we've gone today, is the numbing out of our emotions, not feeling, shoving down, pushing down, and that's the opposite of what's going to bring more of the freedom, more of the joy again, more of the openness of our hearts to reopen after such a powerful closing, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, feeling is healing. And it's so cathartic to feel it, and what's interesting and what comes up for me is
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting is an interesting word. It's kind of a non-word. We've had discussions about this sometimes. When people use it in all sorts of ways. They may disagree with something and they're like, that's interesting.
But it's kind of the way that you say it. It's like
Right.
the energy, the oomph that you put into it, like
Right.
kind of like fuck, right? You could use fuck in every
Yeah.
kind of way,
Right.
and it's going to
Yeah.
mean something totally different. So, anyway, back to interesting.
Back to interesting. But for me is like there are certain emotions that I find easier to dive into and to be present with and to feel fully. Like I talked about this on another podcast that like I'm comfortable now going into feeling like sad and being okay to like express that through crying, for example, because I know how cathartic it is. I know how good it feels to let that energy move through, let it be released, and how much more spaciousness I feel after, and light and energized. And it's like I cleared a channel and now the current of life can move through me again in a powerful way. But when it comes to anger, that's a tricky one for me. It's something I haven't invited to tea enough times, to really feel comfortable with that. But I do love the kind of like the parts work that you're bringing in by like naming that part of yourself and not taking that name too seriously, but giving her a full image. And it's like, okay, now we can create some separation. There's somebody to sit across the table from, that I'm not collapsing completely into, and I can have a conversation and just be curious and ask questions and have a podcast with Greta.
Greta, yeah.
And perhaps you have had a whole podcast just with Greta.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've definitely had podcast episodes with Greta where I'm like in monologue with her. Like my stepdad recently just transitioned in death last November. So I would like sit in my grief and like record an episode of my process.
Wow.
As I'm like feeling the emotion of grief move through me. So yeah, if anyone wants to listen to that Quantum Spirituality podcast on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So yeah, and my YouTube is Self Heal with Liz.
Sweet.
So
yeah, we'll put all your links will be in the show notes, so you can
thank you very much.
find Legendary Lizzie and get some of that juice, sip on some of that
Do you know what episode that was? Do you remember? Does it have a number or?
Well, there's only 9 in my
Okay.
season 1,
Okay.
so yeah, it's not too hard to find.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'd be curious to dive
hear
into
that.
that. Yep.
And for you, do you have a name for the angry part of yourself? I'm curious.
So here's something else that I coach with my clients. I teach the 4 characters of your brain and how to have a brain huddle.
Oh,
Now, this comes from Jill Bolte-Taylor. She's a neuroscientist who had a stroke in the left hemisphere of her brain, and she recovered from it, and then she wrote this book. And so it's called it's called Whole Brain Living is what the book is called. I highly recommend everyone to read it because it teaches you that you got 2 hemispheres, but you have thinking tissue and emotional tissue, right? So the 4 characters are 1 on each side, thinking tissue, and then 1 on each side, emotional tissue. So basically, being able to have a dialogue with these 4 characters and practicing presence with them and recognizing like, oh, my character 4, like she's showing up right now, or my character 3 is the angry one, right? The one that gets into that fight or flight. I'm threatened right now. I need to defend myself. That's character 2, right? And then character 3 is like the emotional, like likes to play and be happy and feels joy and experiential, right? So they all have a role to play in our human experience as we're navigating our journeys. And so instead of like judging one or the other, because some are, less pleasant than others, especially when we're like self-critical or, we're hard on ourselves, right? That's like character 1. So, to honor like, oh, okay, I see you, I feel you, like, let me sit with you. How do you want to be heard? Let me give you a voice. And then, you can be like, okay, I'm not going to let you drive the car, but you can sit in the back seat.
yeah.
So that's kind of how I navigate with the rest of the characters.
Yeah, that's helpful. I mean, we're not going to kick you out of the car, but you ain't driving.
You ain't driving.
Not this bus.
Not this bus.
Yeah.
Unless you find some goddamn gratitude.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Just kidding. Don't gaslight.
Yeah.
Oh, I have something funny to say about that. So I was parked in the city here, and my friend, he teaches a yoga class. And basically, I was parked there, and we were kind of all observing how the bus is not threatening, right, in this neighborhood that I'm parked in.
Right.
And he was like, he was just being silly, and he's like, yeah, there could be something called the gratitude killer. And they'll be like, what are you grateful for? Like before,
Well, it's kind of like the positive heckler at SkooliePalooza across from us. She was like heckling people as they walked by, but just like, damn, you look so good today, and just like bringing them up. And yeah, I love that.
So funny.
The gratitude killer and the positive heckler.
Yeah, someone's going to take that from this podcast and
write a book about it.
Run with it, or we're going to see it on the streets all of a sudden because now it's in our awareness. Yeah.
Love that.
So what does that like open up for people though? Like naming things or like creating these characters? Because I can imagine some people just being like, okay, that's kind of dumb. Like,
yeah, like them relating to it, like, is this really gonna help me? Like,
right. Like, what does that really do for someone?
The way I would describe it is it gives them clarity on how to talk to themselves, like self-compassion. And it gives, because so much of the time, my clients are like, come to me and they're like, Well, usually they're in a transition. So there's some sort of loss, there's some sort of change in their life or transition that they're like having a hard time navigating.
Yeah.
And so I help them get present by slowing down and learning how to meditate and paying attention to their nervous system when they're in fight or flight and when they're in rest and repair,
Mhm.
right? And I say the fastest way to get into rest and repair is by taking a deep breath and sighing it out like a You guys want to do it with me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? That stimulates our vagus nerve, activates the parasympathetic state. So, and then I like to just get a little silly. So then I say, then start to learn to make some silly sounds on your exhale, like a or a
Or a yum. Y-
right? Like, because it gets them out of their like overthinking brain where
Right.
they're worried about whatever the thing is. And, everything starts in the mind. Our
Right.
thoughts, our emotions, our stories, right? We all love our stories, why this is happening.
Oh yeah. I mean, we had a whole conversation about thoughts the other day, and how, and something that was interesting is like with thoughts that don't serve us, we're taught to like observe them, or at least I've been taught to observe them like clouds, right? It's like there's nothing to do with them, it's to just notice the clouds as they pass by. And we literally had a moment with a cloud earlier that day that looked like a mustache that Brooke was like, oh, look, it looks like a curly mustache. And we were observing this cloud. And I'm like, it would be completely ridiculous for us to wish that the mustache was like a horse, right? To sit there and be like, fuck that cloud. I hate this cloud. Like, why is it look like a
Right.
mustache? Like, I wish this cloud looked like a horse. And it caused me
Correct.
all this suffering and turmoil that took me out of being present in my day and,
Because you
being
get
able,
fixated on this freaking cloud.
right,
That's just there being a cloud.
just being a cloud. And we can do that with our thoughts
Yes, we
constantly
can.
throughout the day. And it was just funny to think too, like we say like my thoughts, like we own them. Whereas like we can just observe the thoughts and choose which thoughts we would like to kind of expand on and hold on to for
Have
some
value.
time. Yeah, that
Give us
we
value.
value and that affirm, who we've created ourselves to be, and to continue to like uplift and expand those kinds of thoughts. But it's interesting to identify with all thoughts like they're yours.
Right.
You know?
Mine. Mine.
Yeah.
But the Way of Mastery, because we were reading this epic book called The Way of Mastery. That's been it's like a spiritual text, like channeled wisdom through the lens of Jesus as a friend. Not really like a savior. So it's it's a really cool perspective. And there's a whole chapter on the self-honesty, and that is the gateway to enlightenment or to wisdom. And it went into a whole thing on like having dark thoughts. It's like
Yeah.
being honest about it, getting around people that you can share that honesty. And it gives a funny example of just being like, I just had a funny thought that you were picking up a French fry and I just wanted to chop your hand off with the sledgehammer, or like something ridiculous, haha, like what a thought.
Right.
Like it doesn't mean
Anything
anything
about you.
Yeah.
So just being able to, again, I guess it's like taking that part and separating it and recognizing that that is not actually who you are, because you are the one witnessing it. And then that begs the question of like, who the fuck am I? Who am I as the witness? Have you thought about that, and what comes to mind?
Well, I say I am God expressing self through Lizzie. And basically the way I observe that statement is I'm God. Like, I am connected to everything, and I'm being expressed in this physical earth rental.
Or the
I'm a
rental.
rental.
I love that.
My little earth vessel rental body here. and and I think that when we're born, like, we forget that we're connected. We're all connected. We're all individual waves of the same ocean. And um anything's possible, right? Like, how powerful my brain is to have a thought or have a creative idea and be able to manifest that into tangible form
Mhm.
Yeah.
is power,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's psychic ability too. And so, yeah, who am I? I am God expressing self through Lizzie, and anything's possible. And sometimes I don't get my way, or sometimes I have a preference, and I'm not going to attach to that preference, because then I might get disappointed, and there might be an even better that I cannot even comprehend,
Right.
Yeah.
you know? So, yeah. What about you guys? Who are you?
Do we ask who are you?
Well, yeah, like, who am I? Like, the question,
Oh, who
I
am
am
I?
presence, right?
I resonate very similarly with what you said. For me, I believe that we're like the oneness of God, creation, energy, created duality and separation so that God can experience God.
Mm,
So I believe that spirit is animating through all of us,
yeah.
and we get to marvel. Like I say, like, let's go and marvel at the creation. Like the
Mm.
creation of all of this is marvelous. I should have used marvelous, Matthew.
Oh, we can change it.
Yeah,
Uh,
you could change it.
We can change it anytime.
You are.
But we get to marvel at this creation, and that's what we get to do, is to witness the God in others.
Yeah.
It's like they're
Yeah.
not separate. Yeah, it appears there's an illusion of separation, but especially these kinds of festivals like SkooliePalooza, because we're not on our phones, we're not on our technology, we're fully in nature, immersed, present with other human beings. There's something magical that happens. There's like
Self.
a presence bubble, I call it, like that
Mm.
that forms, and it is a portal, and then I can see through more of the illusion, and I can witness more of that magic of the God essence coming through others. And yeah, that's a long-winded answer to who am I,
I mean,
but
to be continued,
yeah.
What about you, Brooke? How
I
do you
mean, yeah,
describe
very,
it?
very similarly, like, feeling like we are a fractal of this greater God creator, that our souls are like individual fractals of that and are just experiencing life in these bodies, but
Yeah.
we're all just different flavors. We're like different flavors of the
Mm.
big soup that is God, great creator, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it. Um,
Yeah.
so we are the flavors in between the flavors.
Oh, yes.
Whatever that really
But
means.
yeah, I love that. There's a couple things that I wanted to say about how you see God in others. And the way I like, my perception of that is, like, everyone's a mirror for
Mhm,
me.
mhm.
What I see in you is also what I see in myself.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why people who are inspiring can be very uplifting, and also in romantic relationships, when you get triggered by your significant other, what you're seeing in them is something within you. And so recognizing, like, oh, my partner's triggering me, but it's actually bringing up something for me, and recognizing, being able to observe it and be like, oh, do I still need to carry this? Or can I forgive? Right? Forgiveness is one of my favorite toolbox medicines.
Mm.
Is being able to forgive, because when you forgive someone else, it's really for you.
Yeah.
It's really for me.
Yeah.
I forgive someone, that hurt me, that and I was hurt because I was creating a story in my head about like what their actions were doing, what that meant to me, right? And so maybe that wasn't their intention, but I was hurt. And so my ability to forgive them and is also freeing me. It's like liberating me. How do you guys feel about forgiveness?
I agree. What's coming to me is something I learned early on in my personal development journey is that resentment is like taking the poison and expecting them to die.
I have heard that one. Yeah, that's a
And
sentence.
yeah, and it's like, yeah. I mean, people hold on to, I don't want to forgive them because it means I condone the behavior, but it doesn't mean that. You can acknowledge the humanity and the fallibility of another and forgive them and not support the behavior of whatever happened, right? Not condone what they did. And forgiveness often I find gets collapsed in that way. As if I forgive them, it means I'm saying that's okay for them to do that to somebody or to do that to me. And, they can be separated. It's like, I don't tolerate this kind of thing in my friendships anymore. And
Yeah.
as a human being who makes mistakes and is figuring out this whole journey, like I can forgive you and create freedom for them but mainly for myself.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I just see I'm not one to like hold grudges
No.
at all. Like I'm just like, okay, next, let's just keep on moving. And I just
Nice.
don't. I mean, I've been with people that have taken things and have to sit with them for days and are just in this dark cave of depression and whatever else is going on within them for something that could be cleared.
Yeah.
And it's like it puts people in, I've seen it, it puts them into their own self-suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And even with, in family, like I was a family member, an extended family member that just will not forgive his brother. Like with something that happened years ago, like childhood stuff, like when we're young and dumb and make mistakes,
Right.
and just how I'm like, what? And walking with that every day, just how it just would, to me, I'm like, that would just eat at me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's not free. Forgiveness is freedom for the self. And
and
whatever.
when you describe how, someone might hold on to a resentment for that long, I honestly believe that's what creates cancer and dis-ease in the body,
Yeah.
because you are blocking the flow of emotion, of thoughts, of existence, because you are like so hard-headed, so, heart closed,
Yeah.
that you are not a channel. And so it gets stuck in the body.
Yeah.
And emotions, thoughts, they start to manifest as something physical.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's just, something to consider, for anyone who's
Huge.
holding a resentment.
Right. I mean, totally. That's something we're all aware about. I mean, that's been part of my journey of understanding the emotional piece to our health and that being so foundational. Like, you can't be addressing your health without addressing the emotional body, just period. It just is
totally.
not, you can't separate the two. It's all connected. The
Yeah.
body, mind, soul connection, right?
Yep.
It's all a feedback loop, too. So that, I mean, that could be a whole other podcast episode, going deep. But if anyone wants to get into more of that work, I mean, I'm sure you probably are familiar with Gabor Mate, his work with trauma and the body, and his book, The Myth of Normal, was a really good one. But yeah, if you're interested, anyone listening, highly recommend, because that's a game changer for understanding how the body works and responds to anything that's been constricted or repressed. and needs
Totally.
the space to come out so that we can create the space for the healing to happen.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. That's something I like about the body talk system is we look at the person as a whole. Their mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, energetic, and not just a symptom. But we're looking at like their lifestyle and their diet and what brings them joy and their stress, right? That all plays such a role in our physical health. So
Hey, tribe. Lizzie had an interruption to her audio and video, and we lost about 5 minutes of the conversation. Thank you for your grace and understanding as we deal with this minor technical issue. We resume the conversation with a guided forgiveness exercise and the rest of this juicy conversation. Please enjoy the rest of the podcast.
so just tune in and observe
Sure.
something that you are ready to release with love, and then let me know when you have it.
Got it.
Got it.
Okay, and then we say, I give myself permission to release this with love.
I give myself permission to release this with love.
Beautiful. Okay, and then we're going to tap our head brain. You can use both hemispheres of the brain. And we say, head brain, pay attention. And take a
Head
deep
brain.
breath.
Pay attention.
Head brain, pay
Yep.
attention.
La, 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 la. And then we go to the heart brain. And we say, heart brain, remember this by heart.
Heart brain, remember this by heart.
And take another deep breath. Good. And then gut brain, observe the wisdom.
Observe the wisdom.
Observe the
Yeah,
wisdom.
gut brain, absorb the wisdom.
Gut brain, absorb the wisdom.
Yeah, like our guts absorb nutrients from the food. That's why we absorb the wisdom. And then poop out the rest.
Poop out the rest.
So you guys will have a nice body talk poop later.
Right on.
Perfect. I'm so here for that right now. Always.
But yeah,
more poops to celebrate.
We were talking about how laughter is the best medicine, and how when I'm in session, one of my intentions is to make my clients laugh at some point, especially when we're in vulnerable, grief, sadness, anger, those types of emotions, to transmute it with laughter. And then you were going to say something that you and Josh and Matt experienced.
I mean, yeah, just when I look back into my memories, like one of my favorite days of my life, moments, was with Josh and Matt in the basement at my old spot. And we were just in this portal of connection and play and laughter, where my face was just hurting so bad from laughing my ass off for hours. It seemed like we were up till like sunrise probably that night, just in a portal of the greatest thing ever. And it's the best medicine. I mean, I've heard that laughter is one of the highest vibrational states that we can be in, and it's and then the phenomenon of crying from laughing so hard.
Oh,
Right? The connection between the crying and the laughing and the oscillating. And in some ceremonies that I've been in, I'm just like oscillating between crying and laughing and crying and laughing. And the first time I ever did breath work, like a big breath work ceremony, which I was like really kind of hesitant to do, I was just I was on the ground just going between those two states. And it was such a fascinating experience to observe that, because it's like the emotions, like I don't even know why, it's that like, why am I even feeling this? And that's the part that's not important, right? That I've had to like understand, because sometimes when we go on these healing journeys, and we're trying, or at least for me, I'm trying to figure out and pinpoint what it is, or go back to a very memory to like unpack it. And I just remember being in this coaching program, and like, it doesn't matter if you have the memory or not.
Yeah.
It's that it can be released through the laughter, the tears, the crying,
Yeah.
and it's moving, like you said, creating
Mhm.
space for the healing to occur, even though I know I would get so fixated on what is it?
Right.
What even is it that happened,
Mhm.
that I need to know in order to heal, but that
Yeah.
part isn't actually necessary,
Powerful.
which I still need that reminder from time to time.
Yeah,
So,
us humans, we love to overanalyze.
Oh yeah. It's like,
yep.
why do I feel this way? Why do I feel this way? I mean, I get tripped up in that too. It's like, well, what happened today that made me potentially feel this way? And it's like bogged down in the why versus I just feel this way. Can I bring presence to it? Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Can I feel it?
Beautiful.
Can I create a new way of being that I'm committed to stepping into, from
Mm.
there. But like you keep asking why? It doesn't really create anything helpful.
In a different context, it might.
Right. Because being curious is helpful and there's a time for it. I'm not
Right.
saying,
And
But
that's
when
where journaling plays a big role in that. Like, just get it out of your mental bandwidth and onto paper.
yeah.
right.
And you can burn it or save it, but like get it out of your mental bandwidth loops, like you mentioned looping earlier,
Mhm.
Brooke.
Yeah.
So to be able to like get it out, purge,
Yeah.
Permanent.
I know journaling's a huge
written
practice
purge.
for me, for sure. The poetry and just free writing and whatever comes out, and then I close the book and I'm like, I feel that much lighter. Yeah.
Totally.
Is there any when you see clients, is there like a common thread, or like usually people come in with similar emotions or feelings, or is it all kind of everyone's very unique in there?
Well, I would say the common thread is that they're in a transition.
Yeah.
They've experienced some sort of loss. Um, something's changed in their life that they are having a challenge navigating the change. So I would say that's the common thread. And, but I mean, I have like an 82-year-old client and I have, younger clients. So it's really a vast range of people that I work with. And I really just allow myself to sit in the seat of being the observer and trusting that the right opportunities and clients and people, circumstances will unfold,
Mhm.
when I can surrender and trust that I am divinely taken care of and I can handle anything that comes my way. And so it is.
Ah,
Yeah.
cool. I love it. So I guess in wrapping, I'd love to hear your perspective on what creates a thriving life.
Well, I love that I have chosen the path less traveled,
Hmm.
right? By living nomadically in a converted school bus. To be able to not have to work a job I don't like in order to pay rent. It's like I've decided that I'm gonna do this and liberate myself. And yeah, maybe there are challenges of like living nomadically, especially in a city or outside of a city. Those are all unique as well. But I don't have the responsibility of you know needing to be somewhere or needing to have anything. And I'm willing to I give myself permission to have less things so I can be free and thrive. Right. And so I say, my dog, he was 16 and a half before he passed, and people would be like, he looks great. And I'd be like, yeah, he's not a stressed out dog because I'm not a stressed out human.
Yeah.
True.
That is,
Yeah.
that's some wisdom right there.
So thriving, and everyone can decide everyone gets to choose what thriving is for them.
Yeah.
And this is what's thriving for me. I feel like I'm retired at 40.
Yeah. Hey.
Let's go.
Right? So, yeah, just trusting that, like I said earlier, I'm in the right place at the right time. I get to just be. I get to exist here.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be, do, or, have anything in particular in order to be happy, in
Yeah.
order to be at peace.
Yeah.
The peace is right here in my heart, and honoring that. And there's a whole spectrum of emotions. Having the emotional intelligence to go with the flow, uh, the different frequencies of emotions and thoughts, and just observe them and be like, isn't that interesting? What's the solution?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I got a parking ticket a couple days ago and I was like, isn't that interesting? I actually looked it up on Google. I was like, spiritual meaning for parking ticket.
What did you discover?
It was like something to where paying attention to rules, which, I mean, I've never really followed rules myself. And so there's an aspect of, okay, all right, I see that there are rules, and I'm going to do my best to observe them without judgment.
Mhm.
We feel that.
What about you guys? I want to know what's thriving for you.
Do you want to go? Or you want me to go?
You can go.
I mean, it's in alignment, so much of what you shared. It's being the creator of your own life. It's choosing the rules to your own game. It's like not playing in somebody else's game, because so many of us, we've inherited this game and we're like, all right, start playing in this game. And we're like, there's this dissonance that I felt. And I'm like, I'm choosing my own path and I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to learn the hard way. And I've chosen to learn the hard way because I have to. It's like somebody can tell me, don't go down that path because all these bad things will happen. You should stay with the pack and follow the safe route. And I'm like, no, I need to step out into the unknown and learn for myself. And that's where confidence is built and being a creator of more life. So for me, that's what one dimension of what makes up thriving. I mean, Rise to Thrive's all about vitality, connection, and play. And that's the parts of the path that I've chosen to walk, that make it rich. So
richness. Yes.
Juicy. But it's all about the relationships, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
More and more every day, I realize that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when it's like when there's a crisis that happens, it's like, what does your life look like then? Like, who do you have? Like, your connection to spirituality, your connection to something greater, it's like the people that are around you supporting each other, community. If you didn't have the community, it's like for me, that's everything. Like, I love human beings and I love connecting and playing and knowing that we're all there to support each other. And that, I mean, for me, thriving, like my very first festival experience really outlined and showed me what life could be like. It was like this microcosm of what the macrocosm could be, of play, of expression, of humans coming together, your neighbors being like, hey, you guys want some bacon or whatever, like people just taking care of each other and not even knowing who you are and just instantly becoming family. And you just met these people and now you're best friends and you get to go out there and dance and play and learn. And there's the workshops and the speakers and there's food. It's like literally everything, art and people all taking care of one another.
Yeah.
And simplicity. We're out there camping, we're roughing it. We don't need much. I mean, camping is lifestyle. Like we live so minimally, and
Yeah.
you do
Yeah.
too. And it's getting rid of all the things and seeing what's
Mm.
left. That's the richness and just being alive. And yeah, always working on the stressors and the fears that sneak in here and there. And but I think having that connection to God, to creator, to spirituality, to something beyond, and my infatuation with near death experiences as well,
Mm.
knowing that this is just a small little fractal of what we will experience on a soul level. So like why not just enjoy as much as we can? And that's
Amen, sister.
simplicity. Yeah, simplifying life, like not complicating the fuck out of it. It doesn't
Right.
need to be complex. And that's what we found in the mundane moments are really the best.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
around the fire, hanging out with you and Mark and
Yeah.
just going deep. Like that's it.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
Totally. Yes,
Yes.
it is.
So anyway, that was a long-winded answer as well.
Yeah.
It's a great answer.
So
I just want to acknowledge you guys are doing great. You guys are doing God's work. I really admire how you are like showing up in the world with your vulnerability, and you're like really passionate about nutrition and sharing this word, this wisdom, really going like leveling up and taking this podcast seriously and doing everything you're doing is very inspiring. So I just wanted to share that with you guys.
oh,
Bless your
thanks,
heart.
Lizzie.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you too.
Yeah.
Being a little sparkle that you are out there in the world, like the world needs more of
More
you.
Lizzie.
More Lizzie, yeah. So thanks for blessing us up with your joy and just your contagious laughter and freedom and sweetness. And
Yes.
your work is so important too. And we see you and love you so much and can't wait to eat chia seed pudding with you again.
Yummy. I'll see you in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
coming
guys
up?
Yeah, I'm coming up this summer.
All right. Well, let us
In the
know.
summertime.
There's a gathering.
We can get into
We
There's
can talk about that.
Nomadia and then Northwest Nomad. So
Yeah.
just descend on Ben. There's a couple.
Yeah, we'll be at a couple of those for sure.
Okay.
we got to close, but
We're
where
gonna
can
close.
where can
All
people find you if they want to get in touch, connect with you, work with you?
Yeah, so my website is selfhealwithliz.com, and all my socials, Facebook, YouTube. I mainly use YouTube. Self-Heal with Liz. No, it's just Self-Heal with Liz, and that's like Instagram, Facebook. Yeah. Thank you for letting me share.
Yay!
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks
for
for
coming
being here.
on and
Oh wait,
figuring it out.
one more thing. I wanted to do the free gift. A free gift I would love to share with people is that I offer every Mindful Monday, I offer a free parasympathetic yoga class. And it's an opportunity to regulate your nervous system and practice this presence of, isn't this interesting in my body, feeling this way? And it's on Zoom. And so we'll send the Zoom link in the show notes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Every Mindful Monday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time.
And I can vouch
Sweet.
for it. I've been to one. It was amazing. It was so
Yay!
healing and nurturing and made another connection through that class. And yeah,
Love it.
so it was awesome.
Beautiful. All
All
right.
right.
Thank
All
you
right.
guys.
Love you.
All right, everybody listening, we'll see you in the next one.
That's right. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.